In a turn of events that few could have foreseen, Nigel Farage has skyrocketed to become Wales's most popular political leader. Yes, you heard it right. Farage, the outspoken figure who has long stood at the heart of Brexit debates, is now the face and voice the Welsh people appear to be rallying behind. Not content with stirring controversy across the UK, Farage now has his sights set firmly on replacing the Conservatives as Labour's main opposition in Wales. As the Reform UK party held its conference in Newport, the message was clear. Farage and his Reform UK allies are ready to take the fight directly to Labour in Wales. But what does this seismic political shift mean for the Welsh political landscape, and could it signal an unprecedented challenge to Labour's grip on power? Now, let's dive into the details of this bombshell. If recent opinion polls are to be believed, Farage has managed to grab a 30% approval rating in Wales, outstripping Labour's First Minister, Eluned Morgan, who stands at 21%, and the Welsh Conservative leader, Andrew R.T. Davies, trailing behind at 19%. This is a massive shake-up, and it hints at a new era in Welsh politics where traditional party loyalties are being upended. Is this the beginning of a realignment that could reshape British politics? Don't go anywhere, because we're about to take you through the full story, uncovering the twists, turns, and stakes of Farage's new crusade. And here's the latest twist in this story. Just 24 hours ago, Farage doubled down, delivering a scathing critique of Labour's governance in Wales. Claiming they've led the nation to a state of lunatic woke policies, he spared no details as he called out what he considers Labour's dismal record. In a rallying cry to Reform supporters, Farage thundered about Labour's net zero agenda and even blamed them for ending primary steelmaking in South Wales. If you thought things were already heating up, you're going to want to hit that like button, subscribe, and keep those notifications on, because this is just the beginning of the shocking details coming out of Wales. Now, let's take you to the heart of Farage's battle plan and what his rise to popularity means for the future of Wales. The Reform UK party's recent conference at Newport's luxurious Celtic Manor Hotel wasn't just another political gathering. For Farage, this was a critical moment to launch a warpath against Wales's political establishment and to set in motion what could be his boldest campaign yet, turning Wales into a stronghold for the Reform UK movement. Standing before a crowd of 800 fervent supporters, Farage unleashed an assault on the Labour government in Wales, accusing it of everything from mishandling healthcare to imposing insane environmental policies. His message was unmistakable. Labour, which has controlled Wales since devolution began in 1999, is, in his words, failing completely. At the heart of Farage's critique was Labour's handling of the Welsh NHS, which has become a flashpoint issue in the region. Farage didn't hold back, pointing to Wales as having the biggest NHS waiting lists in the whole country. According to him, the Welsh government has been disastrously ineffective in managing health services, and it's the ordinary Welsh citizens who are paying the price. He went further, accusing Labour of focusing on lunatic woke policies while ignoring pressing issues like healthcare and education. But Farage's attacks didn't stop there. He lambasted Labour's commitment to the net zero agenda, suggesting it was directly responsible for the loss of primary steelmaking jobs in South Wales. For Farage, these policies aren't just misguided, they're a direct assault on Wales' working-class heritage, and as if the stakes weren't already high enough, Farage's Reform UK has a unique advantage in the upcoming 2026 Senedd elections. Unlike the first-past-the-post system used in Westminster elections, Wales employs a proportional representation system in its devolved parliament. This voting system distributes seats based on the share of votes each party receives, giving Reform UK a legitimate shot at substantial representation in the Welsh Parliament. Farage, ever the strategist, knows this is his golden ticket. With his eyes firmly set on achieving significant gains, Farage boasted of his good track record under similar voting systems, a reference to his successful campaigns in European Parliament elections. He and his supporters believe that the Welsh PR system is the perfect battleground to begin their conquest of the UK political landscape. If that wasn't enough, Farage's surge in popularity appears to be reshaping voter dynamics across Wales. Polls reveal that Reform UK is now polling at 19% in the Senedd elections, placing it just shy of Labour and Plaid Cymru, and importantly, ahead of the Conservatives. The Reform Party's rise has eaten into both Labour and Conservative support, with Labour slipping by 7 percentage points in the polls. Particularly striking is the party's growth in the South Wales Valleys, a traditional Labour heartland where Reform UK is now polling at 26%. This shift hints at deep dissatisfaction within Labour's traditional base, a development that could spell disaster for the party come election time. Farage's aim to replace the Conservatives as Labour's primary opposition isn't just rhetoric, it's becoming a reality. Reform UK didn't manage to win any Westminster seats in Wales in the last general election, but they came in second in 13 of the 32 seats, amassing a total of 223,018 votes, a notable 16.9% of the ballots cast. This was more than Plaid Cymru's vote count, despite Plaid winning 4 seats. With his influence expanding, Farage has every reason to believe that the PR system could finally deliver him the breakthrough he's been pursuing for years. His campaign has the momentum, and the Reform UK party's support base in Wales is growing, all while the Conservatives and Labour scramble to understand the appeal of the Farage effect. The impact of Farage's movement has already become evident in the Welsh political landscape. Labour's decades-long stronghold on power in Wales is starting to show cracks, and the Conservative Party, weakened and flailing, appears unable to counteract Reform's rise. Andrew R.T. Davies, the Welsh Conservative leader, has struggled to maintain support, as Farage's populist message resonates with voters disillusioned by years of unmet promises. The Conservatives, now polling lower than Reform UK, risk a further decline if Farage continues his relentless assault. Farage's strategy doesn't rest on hollow promises. At the Newport conference, he highlighted concrete steps his party would take if given the chance, vowing to stand against net zero madness, fight for local industries, and revamp the Welsh NHS. Farage's rhetoric positions him as the defender of the working class, especially appealing to communities in Wales who feel left behind by Labour's progressive policies. His message is clear. Farage isn't simply offering criticism, he's promising a new direction for Wales. With 2026 fast approaching, Farage's team has begun mobilising resources, ramping up its ground campaign and targeting key constituencies. They are focusing on the valleys and other areas where Labour's once unshakable support is starting to wane. At the same time, Farage's team is harnessing social media to amplify his message, tapping into voter frustrations and positioning him as the only leader willing to confront Labour's alleged failures head-on. As Farage continues his crusade, one question looms over Welsh politics. Could Reform UK actually challenge Labour's dominance in Wales? For decades, the idea seemed unimaginable. But now, with Labour appearing vulnerable, the Conservatives in disarray, and Farage surging in popularity, it's no longer a distant fantasy. For Farage and his followers, this is the beginning of a revolution, and with every poll, rally and fiery speech, the Reform UK leader inches closer to a political upset that could forever alter the course of Welsh and potentially British politics.